Say something. We are live. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the stream. My name is Dave. This is a fistful of streamcasts. I change it every time. That's not how what a fistful of streamcasts. I change it every time. That's not how what a fistful of streamcasts. I change it every time. Oh,
Why was this on?
I don't know.
That was you. That was you when you were on this computer last.
Well, I mean, the engineer would definitely check that before they started a show because you never know. And plus, you knew I was on there because I told you because you caught me changing the YouTube.
I caught you.
You caught me in my YouTube account with all my DMs open. Anyway, guys, welcome to the show. One humble question I ask of the viewers: if it sounds like awful, let me know because that means something went wrong. If it doesn't sound like it's coming out of a microphone that looks like this, please tell me in the comments below. Also, click like or subscribe. Yeah. Okay, guys, thanks for tuning in. Charlie, here's what's going to happen. I'm not going to officially introduce you until we get at least 5 people. That's the resolution of every stream. But you can talk if you want to.
Okay.
I'm just not officially introducing you, so I don't have to keep doing it over and over again for people who are meandering in.
Yeah, no, I gotcha. That's cool. That's a good plan.
We're just sort of chill time, the hang time. If I were with the Andy and the boys meaning just Adam, so Andy and the boy, I guess that's a weird thing to say. Hanging with Andy and the boy, be a bro hang.
It sounds like a 60s sitcom.
Oh my gosh, so excited. Disney trivia. This is something that again, another subject that spans a large breadth of information. Looks like we got Kayla in the chat. Krista, read Kayla's chat
really quick
aloud.
Before everything starts. I want to thank you, Charlie, for your podcast.
Oh yeah, we have a connection there, I think.
It was both a big help to me, and your crossover episodes were what introduced me to David and FFOP.
Well, look at that.
Wow.
I see. I knew that connection was there. We've got a lot of weird triangle connections like that, and I'm going to get into that, Kayla. So don't you worry. We're going to go over all the credits. Once people start sort of warming up, because I know nobody's setting a reminder for this. If you are setting a reminder, your phone's probably on silent, and you're on the can. And by the time you hop out of there, it's 15 minutes later, and you're like, oh my God, my phone was on silent. I'm missing this awesome stream. So look, we just gained another person because of that hilarious joke I just told about crapping. So what was I saying? Disney trivia. Yes. Large. Okay. Full disclosure, since the Caleb, also, since you're there and watching, honestly, does this sound okay? If it doesn't, we're going to have a problem. 5 people are here. Okay. 5 people are in this
Yay!
stream. So good news, we can officially introduce our guests. So if you're coming to us from Facebook, you may or may not know. You probably do because they've been tagged in all the posts. But before I introduce them officially, here are some credits. The Random Variety Show back in the day.
Jesus Christ.
That was one of our early sister. FFOP has had a lot of sister shows. Seems okay. Krista sounds better than okay. Yeah. So yeah, definitely. So we got everything squared away. Kayla, my
sister shows.
Our sister shows were like the Milk Bar, which I recently appeared on. That was fun. Tangent Bound, but one of the funnest and one of the most interactive in our early days was the Random Variety Show. So
I heard of that show.
It was when we were, when podcasting was still super new and we were in our infancy, and I was just reaching out to everybody. One of the kindest people to extend an offer was Charlie, and obviously, like, spoiler alert, it's Charley Miller. I've said it like a million times, at least their first name. So let's just say hello to Charley Miller.
Hi.
So
what an intro, Dave.
Out
of all the intros you've given me,
I've still got more. Like, I just figured, since you probably should be chiming in at this point.
That's fine. I'll chime in. Sure, I'm here.
So we did like 2 or 3 crossover episodes. That was fun. Then things changes in latitude comes along. I think we probably did at least one off on one of those two.
Yeah. I had you on as a 2-part episode.
Yeah, so it was storied history.
Yeah, totally.
One of our characters from our beguiling past, Charley Miller.
Yay!
So,
hey, if I'm not going to do it, who's going to do it, right? You don't have the soundboard, do you?
Krista's got the soundboard, and it's on. I don't know what's going on over there. This could be a hilarious slapstick.
I've got too many things going on the screen right now.
What? Just trivia?
No, the YouTube.
Oh, the
I
YouTube.
gotta read the typing square.
The chatbot that's blowing up.
Typing square.
Hey, if you're on the YouTube.com, say hello to that typing square. We'll send you a letter back on the Pony Express. Anywho, so one of the things that, or a couple of things that we have in common is birthdays.
Yay!
Same birthday. Also having tons of fun at Disneyland. I've been saying this for years, and for some reason or another, it's always this, that, or the other. And now it's a giant global pandemic. But see, there we go. Hello in the typing square.
Hi.
Yeah. So where was I going with that? Anyway, moral of the story is, been trying to get excuses to go to Disneyland somehow or another altogether, but it's always this, that, or the other, and now it's the pandemic, so it's put off for at least another year. I realize my flamingo is not turned on.
Ah, you fail.
Sorry, guys. Stream ruined. There we go.
Let's just turn it off. Bing.
Saved it. Flamingo Monday. So. Everybody loves trivia. Everybody loves Disney. Classic Disney. We're not going now. Charlie, I hope that this, because you said classic Disney, and I said, okay. To me.
Yeah, newer Disney, I don't know.
To me, I say classic Disney ends at Toy Story 1. I say Snow White to Toy Story 1. That's classic Disney. Then when Pixar really starts putting their foot in it and we start dropping off of classical animation, I'll allow Toy Story because it was breaking new ground. But we're talking 2D mostly.
Okay.
Yeah, it ends in 95.
And probably just the movies. We're not doing all those weird little shorts and stuff where Donald... Why? I feel like as a child growing up, I watched an inordinate amount of shorts where Donald was an air fighter pilot and constantly bombing people.
And that's because they used him for the World War II training videos.
Yeah, and he must have just gotten tons of extra footage. They're like, who knows to fly? Ducks? Let's put Donald in the thing. Always in the... It was crazy. So, that being said, we've also, I imagine, just like every other time, the trivia has been called from our lovely Facebook followers.
Some of it, yes.
Some of it isn't. You can't ask everybody for everything all the time. Then you're, I don't know, a leech?
Yeah.
A leech with a Coke habit is the worst friend to have. So,
team names.
Even though we're one-person teams, you still got to have a team name.
Okay, I want to be the token trans woman.
The token trans woman. That's the name of your team, the whole thing?
Yeah, token trans woman, as in the token one, but also as in, 420.
Token, baby.
That's right.
Okay, so spell that right. I'm going to be... I want to be something related to I'll just be the Team Safari Cruise. That's a classic, right? And we're going Disney. We're going Team Safari Cruise.
Team Safari Cruise and Team Token Trans Women.
Leech of the Pepsi habit. That's a leech of a new generation, Kayla. I hope that I'm reading this in a timely manner and you haven't completely moved on with your life. So anyway, also, Charlie, since you are the guest, and full disclosure, we lost the episode, but I also did lose the true crime trivia to Sierra. So let that not be said that I don't record history accurately.
Mhm.
Team Shemitah was decimated. But Team Safari Cruise has a chance.
You almost forgot your team name.
Yeah, kind of. But Team Safari Cruise has a chance to come back. Also, moral story, since you are the guest, you will be up first, Charlie, and then, if you can't answer it, I'll get a chance to steal and vice versa until there's no more questions, and I am declared the winner.
Oh, is that how it works?
Typically.
Okay,
For the one
then
time.
why are we wasting questions? Dave's the winner! Yay! Okay, next topic.
Listen, we got to burn up time somehow.
Oh, I can talk.
All right, Krista. So what is our first question?
All right, Charlie. Question number 1. Released in 1941, what is the only Disney animated feature film with a title character that never speaks?
Ooh.
1941. So I mean, a good one.
Oh, shit.
I'm going to steal this one, Charlie. If you don't get it, I'm going to steal it. I'm the Hamburglar of Disney.
I'll tell you the character Goofy.
No.
Is it Steamboat Willie?
No.
Damn. Okay.
No.
Never mind.
It's Dumbo.
Dumbo.
Damn it.
See, now I was gonna go way more because I was like Steamboat Willie's a stupid answer that'll be funny, but I wanted to say Snow White, but she does talk, even though she's a useless character, but she eventually says 3 words at the end. She's like, "Oh, I was poisoned." Blah.
She sings.
Yeah, she sings like the whole time.
Still, she's not a character. I don't see her. She's a person who moves through life. Her life is scattered to the 4 winds. Animals, witches, princes. She is literally at the mercy of anybody who floats into her radius, her sphere of influence. Even if you're a chipmunk,
which makes her the main character.
No, it makes her like a piece of tissue paper flying through the breeze. If a camera focuses on it, that's not a main character.
Your face is tissue paper.
She was thin at best. She needed to be a strong, independent woman. All right, so
Dude,
my turn.
You ready?
Yeah, of course I am. I'm always ready.
What are the names of Hades' minions in Hercules?
Oh crap! Is it Pain and Pestilence?
No.
Crap. I don't know. Charlie, want to give it a shot?
Oh shit. I've only seen the movie like twice.
It's one of my favorites, even though everybody hates it.
It's a good one. I enjoyed it. I can't remember.
I think it's underrated.
Larry, Moe, and Curly.
Well, there's only 2, so it has to be Larry and Moe. Well, Krista.
Pain and Panic.
Pain and Panic! Oh, God damn it. I said Pestilence.
Yep.
Panic, right. The guy, yeah. Oh. Panic? Stupid. What kind of mythology personifies panic? Get over yourself, Greeks. And or Disney, if you made that up instead of the Greeks. Thinking about it now, it's probably Disney. Greeks probably didn't make up Panic. All right, so far no points.
No points.
Charlie, you're up.
We're tied.
So far, neck and neck.
All right. Who was the musician that wrote the music and voiced Jack Skellington in Nightmare Before Christmas?
Oh.
Whose question is that?
That's yours.
Danny Elfman.
Yeah.
Man.
But he only voiced the singing. He didn't voice the speaking.
Yeah, just the song,
man, if Cherish were here, she would be like, I know and appreciate that, but she doesn't.
Well, guess what? Guess who gave me that question?
Yeah, I know. And she will be pleased to hear that you used it, is what I'm getting at. Krista, get out of here right now. You are fired. You are fired after this trivia. Because we have to finish this show. And then we'll talk about renegotiating the contract, but until then, you are fired.
Okay.
Up next. My question?
Yes.
All right, hit me.
Wow.
Things get volatile here at FFOP Studios, Charlie. I'm sorry you had to witness that.
Hey, this is my 3rd time on, so
Listen, the veneer has been stripped. It's now time to see behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
It gets pretty dark.
David.
Yeah.
What are the names of the fox and the hound?
Oh,
in the Fox and the Hound.
Todd and Cooper?
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is
wow, good job.
Cooper is the fox. Just kidding. Cooper is the dog. Todd is the fox. Todd with 1 D. The only thing I remember, I've seen that movie and I used to watch it as a child, obviously. The only thing I remember about it is something my mother said, which was, that man is so misogynistic. And I thought, what the hell are you talking about? And then later when I learned what that was and I watched that movie again, it is very Southern, like, get me a sandwich, and like he was literally the villain of the movie, and in the end he gets married to essentially like the saint of the whole narrative. It would be like the Fox and the Hound is as if at the end of the Bible Jesus and the devil like get married and go to Hawaii for their honeymoon.
Oh
like,
God!
You're like, what? He was the bad guy. Yeah, he is. He's the bad guy. And they probably, I think there's like racial stuff in that movie too. That movie has not aged well.
No, it hasn't.
Still delightful characters, Todd and Cooper.
Yes.
Can't fault them. So now I think it's Charlie's turn.
Yes.
Okay.
What is the name of Geppetto's pet in Pinocchio?
Jiminy Cricket doesn't count, does it?
No,
that's not his pet.
He's more of his mascot.
Fucking God damn it!
This is a good one.
Shit.
Oh,
Figaro the cat.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was gonna say Capicoli.
No.
Yes, Figaro. Yay! That's another mind trip of a movie, man. Holy crap!
Yeah, it's totally. Oh my God! Here, go get swallowed by a whale. Get turned into a donkey.
I remember watching that particular. There were two times I had this same thought. Once while watching the gambling alcoholic sequence in Pinocchio, and once during the drug trip Willy Wonka sequence.
Yeah.
I in my head, as these things were going on before me, playing before my very eyes on these old TVs, I thought the person in charge of me thought that this was appropriate. Like I, as a child, was like, "What the fuck? Like, who thought this was okay for me?"
Fantasia used to scare the shit out of me when I was
Fantasia was a little scary, but it was still like a lighthearted enough.
And Pete's Dragon. I hated Pete's
Dragon had implied murder.
Well, not only that, I think that the animation and the real life people in it freaked me out.
Well, yeah, because that story is horrible. Like everybody hates each other, and it's just about like these poor, disgusting people trying to exploit this cartoon dragon for cash.
Basically, yeah.
Pretty. But that was what you could do back in the old days. You would take like this, like imagine a child movie released today, big budget, where like the main antagonists were like a group of homeless people who were just trying to make a living, but also were addicted to heroin and trying to steal a little kid's pet. Like that, no way. But Disney was like, you know what? We're gonna have some traveling tramps, and as long as they're drinking out of like those medicine bottles, we can be like, yeah, it's medicine, not booze.
With the 3 X's across
no.
Yeah, the 3 X's across of it.
Those are on the jugs. Those are those are different.
Or like the skulls on the front.
These were carnival people because that was the whole thing. Like they were these.
They're carnies.
Carnies never come off good in any form of media.
Well, just the name itself, the implication of what it implies. Yeah, carny.
You say carnival. Oh, that's lighthearted and fun. You say carny. You think of like a dude behind a tent with a switchblade stabbing you in the ribs because you couldn't get your wallet out of your pocket fast enough.
Carnivore.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
just too similar.
So are the people that go to like the medieval times and are like part of the medieval times, are they considered carnies in a way? No,
carnies are people who work at the carnival. Like they'll run a booth and they move from town to town. They're like circus folk.
Well, that's what these people at the thing down the street do. The medieval times people, they go from thing to thing.
Yeah, technically those people are carnies then. Like, but if all the people who stay here and like, you know, bust their hump at Staples 9 to 5 most of the time, and then only go dress up as like an obese belly dancer 3 months a year at the whatever down the street there, I wouldn't call them a carny. I would say they're delusional because they're
at the Ren Fair.
Yes,
the Ren Fair. Yeah.
Oh, Ren Fair is a whole other place.
Ren Fair is like a soup that you throw literally every form of bizarrety you can into the same place, and then you take a big old taste and you're like, yep, this was a bad idea.
Well, but everybody's happy. Everybody, it's a big orgy. It's just a giant orgy.
But if you're a normal person, they should have a sign at the door that says, if you're a normal person and don't like being hassled, don't come in. Because I don't want to get into a place and then be hassled by, and then not only being hassled by people, and then come to find out they don't even work there. They're just one of these people who bought a ticket to dress up in old-timey gear, to hassle people under the guise of like being authentic. You know, my face, weirdo. I'm just trying to buy a mug.
Yeah. No, there's those weirdos. Those people are the weirdos, and even the true Ren Fair people don't like those fucks.
But you have to base, your experience is based on what you come into contact with, and you can meet 100 nice carnies, but it only takes one stab you in the ribs to leave a bad taste in your mouth.
Well, it only takes one serial killer to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you only get one. The classic Donald Duck line. You can only do it once. Krista, who's
Daffy Duck.
Daffy Duck. I'm not Donald.
We're on a Disney thing. It's okay.
It's your turn, David. 'cause
Nice.
Charlie just got Figaro right.
Let's do it.
In
Yay.
101 Dalmatians, how many puppies did Pongo and Perdita have of their own before adopting the other stolen puppies?
Shit, because it was like 12 of them or something, man. I don't know. I'm going to say, 101 Dalmatians. I'm going to say oh, God. So, but 101 counts the parents, right? I forgot to look up my 101 Dalmatian lore. I'm going to say that, what was it in Pongo and what's her face?
Perdita,
she pumped out a lot of puppies. I'm going to say like 88 puppies. That's my answer.
Your answer is that they had 88 puppies before they took all the stolen puppies?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
That's incorrect.
I have to rewatch that
maybe
movie.
I'm thinking of the second movie.
Charlie, what's your guess?
I'm gonna guess it's been forever since I saw the original. I'm gonna say like 6.
Nope. 15.
15.
Ah, shit.
I knew I wasn't gonna get it. That's why I guessed super high, because I was gonna be wrong either way, because my other guess was 4. So I'm glad I went with 88s.
I can see that logic.
I'm gonna go big.
You did. Charlie, what is the name? What's the name of Wendy's dog in Peter Pan?
Nana.
Yeah. Always remind me of Mr. Belvedere. Probably the face.
Well, do you want to know why? What reminds you of Mr. Belvedere?
The dog. But I'm also conflating. Yes, but I'm also conflating that with Belvedere, the dog from Looney Tunes. Also, another conflicting property.
Here's something strange. Christopher Hewitt, who played Mr. Belvedere on the situation comedy Mr. Belvedere, played Captain Hook, Mr. Darling on a Broadway tour of it with Sandy Duncan that I happened to go and see.
Wow.
Did he set?
Yeah, I know. It's only good for me. Woo!
Did he sit on his balls? I hear he does that, Mr. Belvedere. I mean.
What?
One of the most famous things about Mr. Belvedere is he once sat on his balls.
Oh, I was wondering if that talk was to him.
Well, right, but it could have happened at that point.
I'm sure it could have. Yes,
singing and doing his whole thing on stage. Sits down, bam, sits in his balls. Show's over. Money's refunded. That would stick out in your head.
Yeah, not the show, not the night I saw it.
You say, "Whoa, I saw half a great show and I got my money refunded because Mr. Belvedere sat on his balls."
Okay.
Right. Who's up next, Krista? Who's
you
up next?
are, David.
Okay. Let's do this.
What are the names of Cinderella's stepsisters?
Oh crap.
Shit.
Fat redhead and skinny black-haired chick with the big nose. So I'm gonna say
ugly feet.
Yeah, Bigfoot, and I think they both just had massive feet. I'm gonna say Griselda and Esmeralda.
No,
because I don't know. Or Exxon Valdez. I'm going with that. Changing my answer. Krista?
Still no.
Damn it. I thought for sure. Charlie, you have a guess?
Shit.
This is a rough one. Cinderella. Night and day with Cinderella. Also, P.S. If you have like an army of vermin at your disposal, be like, hey, make me a dress. Oh, when you're done, you can go ahead and murder my stepmom, my stepdaughters, my stepsisters. There's another story. I can't. World of Vermin.
I can't think of an answer.
We're stumped, Chris. So what's going on?
Anastasia.
Karen, Anastasia, and something else. Fuck.
Something else.
And Drizella. You were close with whatever you said before.
You were.
Rosella and
See,
Esmeralda.
I knew. I remembered the one because the one with the I think the skinny one had the weird name. It always made me remember the what's her face, the witch from that movie that was black and white, and then in color there was a wizard involved. Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz.
Thanks for
The
helping
Wicked
me,
Witch
everybody.
of the West.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, there's Joe in the chat. Joe blowing up the chat. Sorry, not the chat. The what the fuck are we calling it again?
It's the typing square.
Welcome to the typing square, Joe. Please pull up a seat, or as we like to call it, a anti-stand in the typing window. So it looks like Charlie, you're up. So let's hit it.
All right. How many years was the genie stuck in the lamp before Aladdin found him?
This one's easy.
Oh fuck!
Oh man, if I get to steal this,
You'll probably steal it. I haven't watched the movie in so long.
So are you officially?
100 million years.
Okay. Can
Negative.
From the line in the movie, 10,000 years will give you such a crick in the neck.
That's right.
10,000 years. 10,000 years, P.S. And language hasn't changed. He pops out speaking Aladdin's language, which is also English, immediately. And it's been 10,000 years. Nothing's changed.
Nope.
P.S. This is like ancient times. So what was like 10,000 years ago? Genie pops out of the lamp already looking like he lives in that locale. 10,000 years. Disney, check your facts. You just
they took some poetic license.
Yeah.
I want to see the receipts.
Maybe he has a tiny window in his lamp and he can see what everybody's wearing.
He
and
was in the
transform
Cave
himself.
of Wonder in the middle of the desert.
Well, I
But
don't know.
to be fair, he did show up at the end of the movie with a goofy hat that was contemporary to, I mean, what are you going to do? Come on, Robin Williams. Quit doing that.
Oh.
Breaking the fourth wall constantly. I like a good fourth wall break, so let's not throw him out completely. Krista, I think it's Charlie's turn.
It's your turn.
No,
My
you
turn?
stole it.
You stole
it. It's your turn.
Okay, nice. Let's see if we can have this one flat out.
Who is Mufasa's trusted advisor in The Lion King?
Zazu?
Zazu is correct.
Yeah, played by Rowan Atkinson and then John Oliver.
You guys are tied.
Holy crap. How many questions do we have left?
We're tied together?
You're
Ooh.
tied together, and there are 5 questions.
Fit to be tied. Oh, shit. Oh, man. So how many? We're tied, but how many points? That's the important part.
3.
3. Okay, so that's
okay.
Not, never mind. It's not very important.
No.
No, it's no.
Not a good score. All right, so now it is. Now it is Charlie's turn.
Okay.
Okay. What is the name of Belle's father in
Old
Beauty
man.
and the Beast?
Oh. Shit.
Oh, I just remembered it. I hope you don't get it.
That's such a friendly way to say don't do it.
Listen, this is trivia time. We do not screw around.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, Krista got fired.
you
and you're on your way to a firing yourself, Charlie.
I know. I'm on my way out.
Right.
I can't think. Oh, shit.
Let me refresh your memory.
It's in a song.
Mm-hmm, it is. Well, kind of. It comes before a song because Gaston
It's
goes
a lead in.
crazy old Maurice.
Maurice,
Crazy old Maurice. Yeah, and then Maurice.
Oh, damn it.
Ta-da.
Disney point.
Good job. Good job. Good job.
Here's a funny story about this very live stream. I tried to get pictures of things that relate to the thing that we'll be talking about. So the Steven Seagal stream has a picture of the bloated walrus himself. the Batman sidekicks has Robin and Nightwing a picture of. There was no way in hell I was going to put anything Disney on here because I didn't know what that shit ripped down so hard that you could see it torn out of my flesh. So there you go. All right.
This is a layup for Charlie, I feel, because it was kind of brought up before.
But I just stole that, so that's my turn.
Oh,
yeah.
This is kind of a layup because we just talked about this a few minutes
Lay it
ago.
up.
Damn it.
Here goes.
Shit.
What was the first Pixar movie?
Toys. Was it Toys? Pixar? I don't know. If it's not Toys, I don't know.
No.
Okay, then I don't know.
What?
Because I'm thinking Pixar. I'm thinking.
Just say it,
Really?
Charlie. Just say
Charlie,
it.
go ahead.
Yeah.
Wait, what did I say?
Toys.
Oh, toys. God damn it. Yeah, the Robin Williams movie with LL Cool J. Toy Story. Shit.
Oh my god, that's funny.
We have to do these at a time when I'm not so sleepy.
Toy
Story. Toy Story. Damn it.
Just remember, I live in California where cannabis is legal and it's evening time. And yes.
Listen, napping is legal, and that doesn't stop me from not partaking. I'm a purist, and that's why I'm performing so terribly. God damn it. Toys. Fucking Toy Story.
Uh-huh.
We just talked about it.
Yeah, I'm so upset. Like, you have no idea. Listen, we had enough coffee in this cup for half. I usually drink a whole one and then another. Here I am putting my balls on the line for this Disney trivia, my stake, my reputation, all out there on half a cup of coffee. I should be celebrated. I'm the hero of tonight.
Okay. Yes.
So y'all are
I was waiting for a pause.
Okay, so what's going on?
You're still tied.
Okay, still tied.
Yay!
Charlie.
3 questions left.
Might be the first time.
Charlie or Dave.
Oh,
Cherish.
I hope you. Well, you weren't. You probably missed the Nightmare Before Christmas question.
Well,
Cherish. 7:30. Come on. Just kidding. Okay. Charlie.
Yes. Hi.
Hi. All you need is a little faith,
Love.
trust, and what else?
Pixie dust.
Yeah.
Oh, and a little bit of pixie dust.
I told.
You want
David
another
Cherish.
conflicting moment in my childhood. Those
Peter
mermaids.
Pan is my favorite.
Whew.
Tinkerbell is my girl and has always been my girl.
Listen, as a child, all it would take is one uncomfortable moment for me to be turned off a movie. If it makes me uncomfortable good or uncomfortable bad. And those mermaids in that movie made me uncomfortable good, and I could not go back to watching Peter Pan as a Disney film.
Oh, you poor boy.
Okay, so Cherish has been here since Dalmatians. I hope so. That's the best part, probably. It's when I started really coming into my own. I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah. You took off then.
So what is what are we at now? Is somebody finally pulled ahead by one?
Yep. Team Token
Yeah, but
trans
it's-
women have 5.
All right, let's see if
Yeah,
I
but
can.
it's your turn, Dave.
I know this is going to be a real barn burner.
Which Disney character sings "Kiss the Girl"?
Sebastian,
Yes.
the crab.
Sebastian.
Well, I mean, he starts, but let's be real, guys. That's a huge cast of characters singing that song. Also, P.S. That song takes place in like a lagoon, which would be like brackish at best, but I don't think it was. That was like a straight up swamp. That would be fresh water. And there's Sebastian just bumblefucking around, not drowning and not dry drowning. He's just like totally fine. That's fresh water. And there are the eels from Ursula. Disney. What didn't they have like salt and freshwater classes back in the day? Look that up. That's a hot take from yours truly.
You may want to blame Hans Christian Andersen. He wrote Little Mermaid.
Right, but
originally.
But I guarantee Hans Christian Andersen did not say that later Ariel and Eric get together in a marsh that's mostly fresh water when they've been solely based in saltwater creatures. I've not read the book.
I have to think you're correct.
Somebody out there must have. Cherish, you're a teacher. I bet you've read Hans Christian Andersen. I need a report on my desk by Monday.
Wow, a whole week.
It is Monday.
I know. I'm next Monday. Listen, I'm in no hurry. I just want
Who is?
I just want that report.
Okay, we have one question left, and it's 5-5.
Ooh. So last time I shot myself in the foot and gave it to the other person. But I think it's naturally there.
Yes.
It's Charlie's.
Yeah,
okay.
it's actually
so
Charlie's.
now, Charlie, if you take it, that's it.
All right.
All right.
Mowgli was raised by what animals in the Jungle Book?
Charlie.
I'm thinking.
Please. Oh my God. This could be.
It was a pack of wolves. It was a pack of wolves.
Damn it, all that shit. Of course it was a pack of wolves. He was born raised by wolves. Man.
Yeah.
All right.
It's hard to get confused with Tarzan, you know.
But
I didn't.
You sure didn't.
Well,
and you
no,
beat
because
Dave.
the key to that lock is Bagheera.
Right.
Without Bagheera talking, Bagheera is not going to talk to gorillas. Bagheera is talking to wolves. For some reason,
the cat likes dogs.
Here's the thing, like, humans, each one of us has a different language depending on where you come from. Animals, it's like they all speak the same language no matter where they come from. So I think they have it easier. Because on what planet is like a wolf, a panther, a tiger, a snake, and they're all speaking the same language? Come on. Let's be real here. Disney, I'm on to you.
It's Disney.
That's what I should have called this show. Disney, I'm on to you. Someone has to look into this. I'm the whistleblower that Disney doesn't want, but that the public needs. Let's do some more whistleblowing, Charlie. What do you know? Secrets. This is the conspiracy corner with Dave.
Oh wow, we just totally flipped gears. What
about the conspiracy theory that there's an apartment complex under the Matterhorn?
Oh, well, I wouldn't say apartment complex. There's a basketball court and some other break areas under there, from what I've been told by cast members.
I would like there to be some sort of, I don't know, but that's like when you have a structure under a giant fake mountain, anything you put there is going to be cool. Like it could be like the men's room, and you'd be like, "Oh, where's the men's room? Oh, it's under that giant mountain." That's fucking awesome. Because
there is a men's room at the Matterhorn, right?
Yeah, but that's the thing. When it's under a mountain full of monsters, it doesn't matter what the room is.
That's true.
It could be a phlebotomist office. You would beg to get your blood drawn there because you're like, you know where I go to get my blood drawn? Under the goddamn Matterhorn.
What if they performed lobotomies?
Hey, either way. They probably have like Disney branded ice picks and you get to keep it when you leave. Ting! Well, they got to dull down the pick, obviously. That's for, a little Timmy putting his eye out, just his brain.
Kayla says, if only Disney was more realistic like Jurassic Park was with dinosaurs.
If only. Why? Listen, you can give Disney passes because here's the thing. Here's what Disney does, what a lot of people should do, is when you have an animated property and you can pretty much do anything, use that to your advantage. If you're going to make a cartoon about bears, have them be anthropomorphic, have them have thumbs when you need them and whatnot. Use the rules being bent to your advantage. We get these like regular cartoons or other cartoons that don't use that. Like there's no whimsy. It's like, why am I watching this? This could just be a person in front of me. If you're not going to use the animation to do something zany that you can't do IRL or in camera, what the hell am I watching? Like when you're watching even like Fox and the Hound, there's like a 0% chance that you're going to be able to get to see a bear attack two small fledgling animals, a puppy and a baby fox. You're never going to get to see that, but a cartoon will let you see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And I was having this conversation with my boss today because we were talking about cartoons, and I'm like, does anybody remember Brickleberry?
Yeah.
No.
Exactly. You remember it because I made you watch a couple, Krista.
Yep.
But that's the thing. It's one of those shows where it's like, oh, it's animated. But if your vehicle is just like for dick and fart jokes, it doesn't need to be animated. Like if you're not going to do anything crazy with it, don't do it.
Right.
Like Family Guy, not Family Guy. I take that back. American Dad does it right. They push the envelope just enough so you're like, yeah, that's funny because you wouldn't be like Balky wouldn't be able to get a spaceship to crash into the house and then have the scene take place afterwards, have the thing totally fixed. But in a cartoon, you can do that. Like Steve Urkel may have gotten up to some zany hijinks, but he never blew the house to smithereens only to have it built seconds later.
Yeah.
Take advantage of it. That's why cartoons are great. That's why Disney knows what they're doing, what they started. I think, and I'm going to get your opinion on this too, Charlie, because when cartoons, maybe when they first started, everyone was like, whoa, that is an animated person. Because there's not a whole lot going on in like those early ones, like Snow White, like the dwarves are kind of cartoony, but like all the main characters are like,
they're very human-esque.
Yeah. And even to like, they did that, I want to say up until like maybe even the Dalmatians, because like Cinderella or
Right, the animals don't really talk.
Yeah, Cinderella was a big one too. Everyone was normal looking except for like the fairy godmothers, and even they weren't like too zany.
No, they were just like
cartoonish.
Yeah,
plump
I
happy
think
grandmas.
we were slowly learning that lesson of like, oh, animation, you could do anything. So let's stop making like these cartoons look photorealistic. And I think the beginning of that was maybe Robin Hood, because you're like, oh, anthropomorphic animals. How bizarre. We're used to humans walking on 2 feet. Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, Robin Hood, that's a great movie too.
Blew the 60s people away.
But like,
no, they're all stoned.
Say what?
Was Winnie the Pooh Disney?
Yeah, of course it was Disney.
Totally.
When was that out?
Like, well,
60s and 70s, early 80s.
Originally, in the 60s, but like the books were before that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, that's the thing. Like, there's this weird long legacy, and now, like, even when I was a kid, Mickey Mouse was just a thing. Like, he didn't have a backstory, and that was 30 years ago. I can't imagine, but I still had like sort of this close assimilation. Like, I knew that he was like Disney's first character. I don't know if like kids growing up today are gonna have that same connection since we're so far from the creation of Mickey.
I don't think any.
He's like Mario now. Like, kids today know Mario, but they don't know 2D Mario.
Right. Yeah.
So they're just like these weird things that exist, like these corporate mascot characters, like the Michelin Man.
Haha.
That's true.
It's weird. Black Cauldron was dark. You know what else?
Oh man,
crazy?
Black Cauldron. That was a weird movie.
You want to talk about weird and crazy and dark, and this comes up a lot. I mean, it's not Disney, it's Henson, but the Dark Crystal.
Dark Crystal is a great movie, but dark and so not Henson.
Oh, wasn't it the Henson Studios?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I could have swore like that's his like signature thing. I don't know, but I feel like we were talking about this on the True Crime Show too, or like I talk on this microphone so much I don't remember who I say what to. Moral of the story is, in the 80s, it was okay to scar a child via a VHS tape. And where are our morals?
Or in my age, take you to the theater.
Yeah, like you go to the theater. You could say, oh, well, this is rated PG, and there would be a boob in it, and they'd be like, yeah, as long as there's only one, we'll give it a pass.
The first movie I saw in theaters, I went with my mother. It was for a friend's birthday party, and it was Casper, and I cried. I did not like Casper.
I didn't like it either, but probably not for the same reasons. Like, were you sad
it's I don't know. I got mixed feelings on it.
It was. Listen, here's the thing: you cannot reboot something from an era where the sensibilities are different.
Like, right? Hey, well put.
I get you want to bring this character into today because it's got dollar signs and money or brand recognition attached to it. But these characters don't exist in a vacuum. They're a product of their time and of the people around them. So you can't bring Yogi Bear into the 2000s and be like, yo, kids, he's totally crunk, because he's a 1960s character doing like goofy things that the kids back then appreciated. Today, like, his ass would get like shot and left for dead on some street corner by a bunch of kids on skateboards.
There's a picture.
But and Casper may be one of those things that is almost riding the line a little bit, because Casper's not a cool dude. He was never like anything that encapsulated.
No, he was like the outlier.
Yeah, he was just like, oh, I'm a friendly, like I'm misunderstood because I'm a ghost, but I'm also friendly, and that's where all my, these zany episodes happen. So I get that. It'd be pushing it to try and make a 90-minute movie out of PS, and it was, but they did it, so whatever. But I think they also used those 3 ghost uncles.
Yeah.
Cleverly, sometimes, but also not so much sometimes.
Did Disney do that? Was Disney Casper?
I don't.
Or was that like Universal or Warner?
Universal.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Chad,
I'd have to look it up.
Typing window. Can you look up
Typing Square?
Typing Square.
Get it right.
Please Yahoo me up a Google for Casper the Friendly something or other, whatever we were talking about.
Yahoo me up a Google.
Use Bing.
Bring me up a Yahoo Google search and find out why Casper.
Oh my God.
I don't know. Also, this is also maybe just me, but I've never been like a huge Bill Pullman fan. I think people with ultra recognizable faces are incredibly distracting to me, and he's got an ultra recognizable face.
Kayla's gonna ask Jeeves.
All right, thank you. Ask Jeeves where my Google is and why hasn't Casper shown up on it yet.
With a Bing.
I don't even remember what we were asking to Google. Kayla.
Oh, if Casper was Universal or Disney.
Kayla, Casper that and see if Jeeves is Universal or Disney. He might even be Warner Brothers. I
think it's Warner.
But you don't
think it might be Warner Brothers.
You don't see a Casper running around Six Flags. I'll tell you that. Too depressing.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how friendly he is, he's still dead, and he's got to confront kids with that fact.
I thought Jeeves was
Richie Rich.
No, Jeeves worked for Richie Rich. Then he got too old. No, here's what happened, actually. Jeeves took a computer-aided design class, and that ignited his love of electronics. And eventually, he's like, you know what? Time to start my own thing. Ask Jeeves.
My own web browser?
Yep.
My web crawler?
He's all, see you in hell, Richie Rich. I'm going to be Jeevesy almost as rich. And that's the story of Jeeves. And then he went bankrupt because Google literally puts everybody out of business.
Yeah. There's still Yahoo.
No, well, whatever. I don't care. Let's talk about other classic Disney movies. Are there any like instances in your life when you're watching these Disney movies you're like, that's weird? There are some of these movies that make you go like, ugh. Even in like the modern ones, you go, ugh.
It was Universal.
Universal Chair says.
Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. I knew our chat window, our chat roulette window
was taking too long.
He had to thumb through like tome after tome of dusty book on a shelf.
Back in the day, yeah.
So Charlie,
no, there's
Well, give me a weirded out moment in a Disney movie.
Well, Song of the South.
See, I still haven't. I was the generation like that missed it by this much.
You missed it. Oh,
I never saw it.
I got to see the ride, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
I saw the ride and did not get any of the references because even by the time I was coming of that age, it had already been scrubbed.
Wow.
They're like,
no, I remember seeing it. It was in the theaters. It was a re-release. Family took me to see it.
Mm-hmm.
There was also an LP with the songs and some of the little stories on it that I had. So I heard that a lot.
I had the songs on cassette, even though I never saw the movie. Had songs on cassette.
Yeah, because Disney wanted to make money off of the songs. I mean, the songs are great. Come on, Zippity Doo Dah and all those other ones.
Yeah.
That's where that came from?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's where that came from. And I mean, is it a good movie? It is good in the sense that it was live action and animation put together in 50 something, 60 something, early 70s. No, not early 70s, 60 something. It was early.
Yeah.
It wasn't their first attempt, but it was one of their early attempts. And I remember seeing that and just thinking, wow, this is beautiful.
This,
but the portrayal of it all, it portrays a period of time of our history
that's the thing.
that is probably not a good thing to really highlight, but you don't want to forget about it.
Right. So here's my question to you and everybody in the typing window here. Typing square. I got to write that down. Typing square. Square. Everybody in the typing square. Think about this. So we've got all these weird pieces of art that are morally or ethically sketchy, and so we sort of bury them. Is that the right thing to do? Because art, again, it like a character in a show or a piece of fiction. It does not exist in a vacuum. I think we need to keep those things available and talk about them, because without those works of art to have those conversations, then how are we going to move past them? Like, if we can't look at Song of the South and be like, whoa, that's fucked, and have a conversation with everybody like, hey, you know why that's fucked? Yeah, we all agree. Hey, great. Now moving on, we all know better. But if we immediately have this knee-jerk reaction where we're like, yoink, and we pull everything back, or we downplay everything like from an older time that isn't necessarily what we hold up to our standards today. I think it's unfair to take the art of yesteryear and hold it up to the standards today. I think we still look at it, not see it in a vacuum, obviously, but experience it and talk about it instead of being like, don't ever ingest this because different and controversial opinions are weird and bad.
Yeah, Joe says it's okay to highlight, but not without proper context.
Right.
Kayla says burying them isn't right, but leaving them untouched and not discussing isn't much for context.
Right.
Kayla says burying them isn't right, but leaving them untouched and not discussing isn't much better.
That's where the sticky issue comes in. Because here's the thing. If Disney leaves Song of the South out, whatever, or whatever company puts out whatever media that may be controversial in whatever way, if they leave it out there contextless, it's left up to Johnny Dumbass to decode the message and see it within context. But you can't trust the average American to see things the way that they were presented at the time they were supposed to. So I guarantee if that movie hit shelves in Walmart tomorrow, the South would rise again, probably.
Yeah.
Because and it's partially because that movie was locked away and no one got to talk about it.
Yeah. No, you know what movies like that need is maybe from school. You'll remember this when you're in English class and you're studying a Shakespeare play specifically, but other plays. Certain books have the original text on, say, the right side, and then the interpretation on the left. If we could create something like that for Song of the South or a number of other things from our history,
that's the thing. Like, you would have to. That's why it's impossible, and I guess
it's totally impossible.
That's why everybody has to. I guess when it comes to like keeping the art intact and available, but having to go back and rework it and putting a disclaimer or whatever, that's my hang up. Is I wish we were in a society that was critical minded enough to look at something and be like, whoa, that's a product of its time, and be like, now we can move on. But
that's never going to happen.
Since that can't happen.
Sadly, no, it won't happen.
And there's no way you can, because you can go back and re-edit things or retouch up things or change things to be more ethically, whatever you want, whatever your big bugaboo is, you can go back and digitally change it. But then why are you doing it? Like, if the story is an allegory for slavery, or if the thing, the product or the media in question is downplaying, like the whole crux of the thing is something you find abhorrent, then you can't change it without altering its context. And then, let's say in 100 years, everybody gets sick of paintings, and and for some weird reason, we're like, paintings are offensive. We just start burning Van Goghs left and right. I'm not saying that'll happen, but getting rid of the art because we find it objectionable for XYZ destroys the purpose of the art being made.
Right. It completely
sometimes
gets rid of history.
Right.
But you can also learn, because Song of the South is like, hey, Disney's like, I got a great idea. Let's try and trick everybody that slavery was okay. That was the intention. Now, whatever, 70 years later, we can look back and be like, haha, what a ridiculous concept. But again, you would have to have like a holographic Walt Disney produced by, ILM to walk out on a stage and be like, hey, everybody, so back in the day, we were a little racist. So this is a racist allegory. Now, don't let it go to your head. Now, here's the context. Black people and yada, 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 and the white people do this, blah, blah, blah. But you can't do that. Like, you can't.
Well, he was a racist.
Right. I know he was. But you can't retcon history, was what I'm saying. Is like,
no, you can't.
You have.
Sadly, no.
My opinion is leave it intact, but also remember that it's not today, 100 years ago.
Right. Well, your history is what makes you today.
Right. And that's the thing. If you can, that's also another, like, maybe it's even a test. Like, if you can watch something that's inherently biased or potentially prejudicial or something against a single person, group, idea, whatever, and you show it to people and you say, oh, how do you like that? It might be a sly racism test. Like, if we get 10 people in a room, we show them Song of the South, or like one of those old minstrel shows or whatever, something obviously and very offensively racist, and we say, what'd you think about that? Take them all into a room one at a time so they don't feel embarrassed. Be like, what'd you think? What'd you think? What'd you think? And then we shoot the people who are like, the people are like, I was very deeply uncomfortable because that seems like it was made in a time when that was acceptable and obviously isn't. We say, okay, thank you for your input. And they walk out the exit. And if they say, oh, that was the funniest thing I ever saw. Then the floor opens up, they drop into a giant cannon barrel and are shot into a volcano.
That seems totally reasonable.
Yeah,
I'm not saying this will happen, but if you vote for me this November, you and I can make this dream come true.
Kayla says Disney thinks it's today 100 years ago. Just look at Genie's clothes.
Genie doesn't count. Genie gets to, even though he has to spend 10,000 years in a lamp, he gets a temporal pass because magic, for whatever reason, that's the great thing about magic. Like if you're a lazy writer, just be like, it was magic. Fucking did it. About it. You don't have to you don't have to bullshit your way through like an explanation with soft science. Like if you were going to start something and be like, had to put up with people asking you shit all the time, be like, it was magic. And then people were like, oh yeah, everything's possible with magic. I saw David Blaine levitate over a block of ice that had a shark frozen in it. I know what magic is, and I believe.
Joe supports your plan, by the way.
Thank you, Joe.
Wow.
Wow.
You know, I'm not saying it has to be now, but what better time than the present?
Yeah.
Just put up a little, we've got so many movie theaters that are left barren because of the pandemic. Just take one or two, do a little, excavating, a little subterranean cannon.
Little 2020.
I'm going off of the Shooting Idiots into Volcanoes platform.
I'm Dave, and I support this message.
I need somebody get me like a green screen, and I need a flag waving behind me and a cannon like right here, just shooting some bastard into a volcano. And I'll be in front of it, looking as jets fly by and the eagles cry.
Where's RJ? I'm sure he could put something
together.
A
tear rolls down my cheek, and I think, God bless you, volcano. That'll be my VP, Mount St. Helen. People will be like, yeah, that's edgy. A woman and a mountain.
There you go.
Wow. Cover all platforms.
Yeah.
Listen, we're gonna
literally.
We're gonna have basically all of our bases covered in dirt. Anyway, I don't think I ever got a straight answer out of like what weird things happen in Disney movies.
Oh shit, we tangent.
Because all the weird ones I think for me are like the Bluth ones or the Universal ones. Disney doesn't have a huge track record necessarily. Although they were not afraid to show kids the meaning of death. Like
that's true.
A lot. They're like Disney's early movies have a huge body count.
Bambi's mom.
Yeah. Bambi's mom.
Like there's a lot of implied murder, and even up into like the later ones, like a guy gets strangled in Tarzan. He straight up gets killed on camera. You see his feet. You don't see his like neck, obviously, but like I'm surprised that stayed around as long as it did. Because like the Aristocats, that was one of my favorites, even though it's like sort of the less popular, sort of gritty.
It's a good one. It's
got everything you want. It's not super high profile, so it's not a bunch of annoying fans getting in your way. It's got all the great voice actors. Blue is in it because he was in everything.
Phil Harris, yeah. Scatman Crothers.
Yeah, and it's it's an interesting story, and it isn't necessarily having to be carried by big characters. But it's also super dark because there are people legitimately on the hunt to murder these animals. And it's all treated like this hilarious farce. Like this insane old woman is like, when I die, my money goes to my cats. And number one, wait, who okayed that? That man should have his license taken away, number one. Number two, why would the butler immediately be like, oh, damn it, that was supposed to be my money? Like the butler? Come on. All the murder.
Joe says the music is also great.
Music is great.
No, that's the Sherman Brothers. The Rescuers. Well, the Rescuers Down Under was newer. The original Rescuers was classic.
That was another creepy one.
Yeah.
It is creepy.
That lady villain whose name I do not remember. And her two pet alligators. That was another thing. All Disney villains had two evil pets. You had Ursula with the eels. You had this crazy lady with the zany eyes and the crazy teeth were the two alligators. Mufasa. Mufasa got murdered. He got straight up murdered. If that were real,
so
when Simba got down there after that track of wildebeest run through that canyon, he would be a red smear 7 miles long. There would be no,
totally.
There would be no like father holding his head. You would be like, oh my god, there's just a runway of blood and gore. Give me a break. Come on, Disney. I'm on you. That's a hot take from Dave. Disney, get some blood into your movies. Have we got? Nobody's got a name on the lady from the Rescuers.
I can't think of her.
I was hoping the chat
begins with the vial.
The chat square would have something, but that also was like a super. The Rescuers, another short-lived franchise that has a bunch of danger in it, because in the first one, it's centered around kidnapping of this little girl, and there's legitimate danger everywhere because there's alligators and shit. And the second one, it's this boy that gets kidnapped, and the eagle and the dude is like throwing knives everywhere, and this like legitimate danger and shit. Like it's no like, haha, this is Winnie the Pooh, Heffalumps and Woozles. This is a dude who's batshit crazy, living in the outback, who is going to take your skin off and make like a little harness for his giant weird lizard who understands English. Like that dude was like. He was the John Wayne Gacy of like the Outback, and Disney's like, yeah, that's the character we want.
Kayla says, Ask Jeeves wouldn't load, so I'm checking an Angel Fire.
Oh, yes, Madame Medusa.
Madame Medusa.
Madame Medusa! Yes. Oh my god, yes.
Brutus and Nero. That's the thing. Disney's got its references, man. Disney's got its references. I like that. Yeah, but also, and another thing... I don't know. There's just so many of those things that feel like super, like the villains get a little too dark. Like there was this kid when I was growing up who always had nightmares centered around Jafar. I never found Jafar super intimidating. Like he never seemed like a very...
But he looked evil.
No,
he was an evil looking bastard.
Don't get me wrong. Great design, very evil looking. But he always, like his like big... coup de grace ends with him killing people using puns. And I cannot take someone who uses puns while doing these magic tricks like as a serious, legitimate threat. Whereas like in, let's say Sleeping Beauty, you've got, or let's say, Sleeping Beauty with Maleficent. Like that bitch is scary.
That's a scary dragon.
And then
Ursula's scary too.
But the thing about Maleficent is she gets a goddamn sword in her chest. You see it enter her chest, and you know that bitch is dead. You see her blood, and she falls into like the thorns. The thorns alone were enough to give me a panic attack as a child. When Prince Charming rides up, and those giant sentient thorns start showing up, that's when I, as a child, am making the decision like, if I were him, turning right back around. Not worth it. There's other ladies. I'm out of here.
It's true.
That is
what was Pocahontas?
Pocahontas was like 94, 96-ish. That was weird. Mel Gibson. That was when Disney kind of
went weird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, and it's a fucked up story anyway.
True. But that was the thing. They're reaching like there are some fairy tales and some stories that lend themselves, even if they don't end happy naturally, it still has all the pieces. You've got a damsel in distress, you got a monster, you got a hero, you got yada yada yada. When they did The Hunchback of Notre Dame, what the hell were they like? The story of the Hunchback, Cliff's Notes edition, is Quasimodo leads this horrifying life locked up in a belfry, subject to all this weird. He's deaf. This gypsy comes into town. The Quasimodo's adopted dad pops a bone for her. The soldier pops a bone for her. Priest gets angry, tries to kill second dude with the second bone, blames it on Esmeralda. Everybody dies in the end. Spoiler alert, it's a miserable fucking ride. Everybody dies, and you feel miserable for having read it. And then you watch the Disney version where everyone's high-fiving at the end. It's like everybody riding off into the sunset. Yeah, that's way better than dying alone and ending up like this crippled husk and pile of bones, I guess.
Well, Disney's been changing the story to make it fit for since they began.
But changing is one thing. Like having Ariel get with the prince instead of turning into sea foam, fine. I get that. That's one character that dies. So I see one change. And P.S. It's for kids. So yeah, Ariel and Eric, you say, yay. Like to change the Hunchback of Notre Dame is if like you took the D-Day out of the Terminator franchise. Like you took the Armageddon out of the Terminator franchise, and that is what you get. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like those are main elements. You cannot remove them. So if you're by saying, what's his nuts? The Hunchback, he's gonna have some problems, but everybody respects him now because it's the 1400s and we're all super accommodating to physical deformities. Esmeralda's running off with Phoebus, who isn't a wild rapist and all this other stuff. And so it's like from like the word go, it's completely different. So that's why I'm confused, because the Hunchback never is a happy story. Everyone's miserable from the jump. Like it's never like, oh, Esmeralda was having so much fun. Like she's miserable. She turns out to be like an abuse victim who was also abducted as a child. Like Disney, what were you thinking? I don't know.
My favorite was always Beauty and the Beast.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Again, death.
Well, yeah, but
you have to have death to have a good story,
right? But
in Stockholm
most
Syndrome.
of the time.
but that's
what?
the thing.
And Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah, true. Okay.
And also, like the brutality when Gaston stabs the Beast.
Yeah.
Like when I first saw that in the theaters, I could feel it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, you son of a bitch. I had gotten so into the Beast character that I had gotten Stockholm Syndrome. I was not only was I able to look past the fact that Belle was there against her will, but so was I, and he got me.
Okay.
What? We had some talking in the chat here. Oh,
song.
Yeah. So, spoiler alert, guys. I saw the Hunchback once, and then forgot about it.
Yeah, I don't think
I've only seen it like twice.
It's like that weird.
It's a slow-moving movie.
There was also this weird time that like things plateaued. I think it was when Disney moved out of like fairy tales and into classic literature and like realistic historical figures, like the Notre Dame's, the Pocahontas. What else came out like in the 90s, like with Disney? Best Disney song.
I can't remember.
Cherish wants to know, what is the best Disney song in your opinion?
Oh Christ. In my opinion? Oh yes. God. Well, that's a tough one for me because I really admire all of the Sherman Brothers songs, which range from Jungle Book, Mary Poppins, Bread Knobs and Broomsticks.
I always skip Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
That's a weird movie.
The whole story is weird, but the Sherman Brothers basically wrote all the Disney movie music and the TV show they had music for the bulk of it in the beginning. I mean, they made the sound of Disney, all the sounds we hear at the parks, and I love almost every single song I've ever heard of theirs. So, to say what is the best Disney song? There's so many that have come out outside of the Sherman Brothers. When you've got Tim Rice and I'm drawing a blank on some of the other wonderful composers. But I'm going to stick it to classic Disney because that's where we started this show with. So I'm going to stick with the Sherman Brothers. And as far as the best song, I'm just going to go with my favorite, and that's "Feed the Birds" from Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins, all of those songs have that charming, I don't even know what kind of like warm quality to them. So, but also,
Julie Andrews.
Yeah, that's it's
come on, it's Julie Andrews. Well, Bare Necessities and all the songs from Jungle Book are also the Sherman Brothers, and you've got Phil Harris and Louis Prima as the orangutan. I mean, these are classic performers of the time, and I mean, it's
hard, man. Like
it's so hard.
Like what, 200 years of music to look through. I have to.
But yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm rounding up a little. I have to as much as I would love to have him in Hall, I think due to sheer repetition and like, I think the movie we saw most, the two we saw most were Aladdin and The Little Mermaid when we were kids. Had all the like the VHS clamshells that everybody loved.
Yeah, I remember those.
You still have some.
Yeah, I still got some. I think for me, Under the Sea was probably my favorite.
That's a good one.
I love that. I love island sound. It's not overly
the Caribbean sound.
I like that tropical sound. I like Sebastian's voice. I think he was the right pick for that character.
It was a very good match.
And also, how horrifying is it that he had to watch like literally everybody he knew just get eviscerated as this guy sang a song?
Yeah.
That would be like, imagine, out of context, obviously, like if you were watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre and like Sebastian was taken over by one of those other dumb NPC characters and Leatherface is singing his ass off, chopping dudes up. There's just someone running around in the background like, oh my God, I don't want to get killed. But Disney treats it like, yeah, you know, you live in the sea. These are fish that literally came from there. And watch, I'm going to cut them up. And like, they call attention to it like because Sebastian gets sick and all the carnage. Like, what the fuck? Like,
it's violent. It's violent.
That's a fucking trip and a half. Let's see what the chat says.
Chair says
the talk window.
The
word window.
Typing square.
The
Damn
typing
it.
square window.
Oh God, there's so many. Animated colors.
Oh,
Siamese cats. Oh, that's another great one.
Right.
I think that's also the Sherman Brothers.
I don't think that's another one. Like if that song,
Jack's Lament is another good song.
Mm-hmm.
I think if that Siamese If You Please song,
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely not going to make it in the reboot. That's for goddamn sure.
No, it won't. It's very much a period piece.
Right. And I think that's what gives it character because those cats and like that sort of represents the idea of that era and that time period. You want to make a new one and change it and make it bland and boring, whatever. But let's at least nod to the original for being a thing. It wasn't a homogenized, cooked down to the bone thing. They were okay throwing edgy shit in back then because they're like, well, who's going to stop us?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, they were kind of leading it.
They're like, hey, guess what? It's the 50s and we're all white. Win over here, and we're putting Siamese cats in there, and they're going to sing a racist song. So check, please. Thank you, Disney.
Oh, okay, another crazy one we haven't even thought about it. I just remembered it. Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
But I feel like the crazy work was done.
By Lewis Carroll? Yeah, he laid the
Carroll.
groundwork, and Disney just said, oh my God, this is perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, one of my favorite things about that movie is the Tweedledum Tweedledee period, moment through it where they tell the story of the walrus and the carpenter. Because that whole piece, both Tweedledum and Tweedledee, the walrus and the carpenter are played by the same voice actor, and I'm drawing a blank right now. I want to say J. Pat O'Malley, and I think that's right, but I'm not 100%. Old character actor, has done a ton of television. You'd recognize him if you saw him from old TV. Just the dynamic of the two twins and the walrus and the carpenter, because the walrus and the carpenter are two totally opposites, but Tweedledee and Tweedledum are basically the same. Fine. But to think that one person made all those voices for that one sequence is a phenomenal feat, in my opinion.
Yeah, like even there are a lot of people who say that like money, makes you creatively less, viable. I'm gonna like say it in nice terms, but like Disney had all the money in the world, and I don't know what it was back then. Maybe they just didn't have like focus groups, because back then Disney was like, I want to have a movie that has all this crazy shit in it. And he's like, it's going to be, for kids and yada, yada, yada. But there was artistic flair. There's something in each movie to make you be like, okay, there's something here where there's the art of storytelling that has been crafted before me. There is, there were some boundaries pushed. There's something, that made me feel uncomfortable at times, whether it be an awkward death or a stabbing or a weird racist character or whatever. And I think that we need more things like that, because the more things we have that are just sort of like, hey, everybody's included and it gets them. I want to see not just like from my demographic. I want to see super specific stories about different characters.
Yeah.
Like in Lady and the Tramp, like those two, like the Tramp is definitely a way different than the Lady. The Lady is, and they both do things that like today you'd be like, ugh. But that's the thing. They're characters. You can't.
Characters and stereotypes.
Right.
Yeah.
And you need those for compelling fiction, because if you had everybody be like a normal person in media, it'd be boring. No one will watch a movie about my dumb ass because I don't do anything.
It's heightened reality. It's Hollywoodized is another way to say it. It's just what sells tickets. It's storytelling.
Yeah.
It's just how it is.
I'm more inclined to see somebody's vision that is unadulterated, if insulting and or annoying, than to see something that was committee approved, because it won't offend, but it also is not going to stick with you probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like nobody ever looks at, like, you'll never see on a film, message board or anywhere with like film buffs be like, oh man, the great movie Avatar, the stunning visual effects. No one gives a fuck because the story was boring and whatever. No compelling characters. It was very ABC plot. Everybody's favorite movies are weird movies. They are old, or they have character, or they're crazy, or they're made on a shoestring budget or whatever. And Disney used to have that because they were, throw shit against the wall and see what sticks. And I think the only thing that's sticking now is the stuff that appeals to literally everybody, and so therefore almost nobody. I want Disney to go back to their weird shit. Fix the scientific inaccuracies, Disney. I'm not letting you off the hook for that. But go back to making weird shit. We need to go back to traumatizing our children like in the old days.
Perfect.
Sword in the Stone.
Yes. Oh man, Sword in the Stone. Like, you want to talk about a gripping sequence when they are in the moat being chased by that Gar. Swear, that is worse than any Halloween film. And any Friday the 13th film. That is a genuinely terrifying experience, watching this boy who's been turned into a fish running away from a giant fish.
Yeah, that is quite horrifying.
What in the hell? And of course Merlin's like, whatever. He's like, they're like the proto Rick and Morty.
It could be. I think, he's like the drunk uncle.
Yes. Yeah, like Merlin and I'm blanking on his name. Kid. Who's the kid's name? Anybody?
I have no idea.
The kid. The
Typing Square.
Typing Square. Is it Arthur? I'm sure it was Arthur.
Yeah, it's Arthur.
But they call it Wart. That's Wart. That's what it was. Wart. It was Merlin and Wart. That's like Rick and Morty to a T. Like Merlin is this zany, bearded, white-haired eccentric who's using magic instead of science, so he gets the pass card. You got Arthur, who's this, wide-eyed, impressionable kid.
You got the crazy witch.
You got the crazy witch. You got the weird parents, like the weird abusive dad, and like the over-forgiving mother. Like that is
classic Disney.
Yeah, but that's like literally today. That is a page ripped out of today's books. It's weird to think about. Like, make Merlin swear some more. It's Rick and Morty. Like, he shows up in Bermuda. Like, he basically, I don't know why Merlin doesn't get as much play as the genie, because they probably didn't want to do as much like zany fourth wall breaking. But the Merlin does the same shit the genie does, just to a minimal degree. Because when he comes back, he's wearing Disney paraphernalia.
Yeah.
It's not like Robin Williams was the first guy to pioneer, like, oh man, here's the thing, I'm going to wear a goofy hat, in the Disney. Mm-hmm. They were doing that, whatever. Merlin was doing that shit. That was old hat when he was, doing, and plus he was like, what, 400? God knows. He was an old wizard.
He was.
That's what I'm going to pitch to Disney. It's going to have to go through some of their subsidiaries, because we need
live action Sword in the Stone.
No, like a Merlin and Wart Rick and Morty parallel. Because I'm, it was great waiting 10 years between Rick and Morty seasons, but I need something to fill that hole. And I think if Disney can step up and be like, hey, it's Merlin and Wart, and instead of zany like science crap, it's just Merlin with his wand and magic powders and dried frogs and shit. Like, it'd be just as good. And they could check in with the drunk parents who's always throwing. and then, like, almost like depicting animal abuse, where he's like throwing his leftovers to these dogs so they can fight it out. It's a weird time to be alive, man. Weird time. That's another one I gotta watch. Merlin's house also was fucked. Like,
yeah.
Here's the thing.
Well,
you are the king. I get that. You want the best for yourself. But this dude got mastery over time and space. He is a fucking wizard. And you give him the top room in the leaky attic of the tower? Are you kidding? When a pro wrestler moves in and says, what room do I take? You say, whatever one you want. You don't say, you're in the doghouse. Because that dude he can exert some force over you. And Merlin, come on. He's a goddamn wizard.
the king's not very smart.
No. And
no kings
obviously, because at the end of the
movie,
they're
not.
Because like they base their whole like patriarchal system on whether you can remove a piece of metal from a piece of stone. So yeah, it's not like he was ever going to develop a space plan.
Yeah.
What was Arthur's dad's name? Chuck? What was his last name? Arthur Conan Doyle? Chuck Conan Doyle?
Cherish liked the tower room growing up.
Oh, it was cool. But
yeah.
But that being said, the rain scene was immensely frustrating. Even as a child, I was very eager to complain and very irritable. And when I was watching that scene where the rain is pouring in and all the Merlin shit is getting ruined and Archimedes the owl is pissed and everything is fucked, I was so angry. I was like, if that were me, I would be blowing my stack. All his books are getting ruined. All his potions are getting ruined. Like, this is fucked. And also put aside the fact that, the king put him in a shitty room. That's bad on him. Merlin, as I mentioned earlier, has mastery over time and space. Why not fix the roof with some fucking magic?
I always wondered that too.
Or, second theory, you're on the payroll, I imagine. The king isn't giving you jack shit. Get a kid, have Arthur. Be like, hey, Arthur, run down and get me some thatch. For the love of God, I've got no roof. Still, very irritated at that king. A lot of rain.
So much rain.
Didn't like it. Oh, yeah, the dishes.
Oh, the dishes.
That's another thing that old Disney was not afraid of. Revenge. Disney would give you a shitty character that was always related somehow to the main character, and they would always get their comeuppance. They would either get their asses beat to shit by all the strings are tied. We've got everything we want out of this. That's old Disney. Not afraid of revenge. Disney, if you're keeping a list, put this on the bottom of it. Revenge. We want more of it. Are there any other revenge movies in Disney?
I'm trying to think of any moments that have that.
Because obviously the sisters, all the wicked stepsisters always get their comeuppance. The witch in Snow White, her ass gets thrown off a cliff. That you want to
Captain Hook gets the croc.
Yeah, but here's the thing: you want to keep a child up at night. Put on Snow White and be like, oh yeah, it's a fun cartoon. And they'll go through and it'll have some dicey moments or whatever. But as soon as that bitch falls off that cliff and you hear her scream and see her drop like a fucking dried applehead doll, good luck going to sleep for the next 3 nights. Jesus Christ, that should have a warning. Like there should be
Pinocchio too.
Oh yeah, Pinocchio's fucked, but that's fucked through the whole thing, man. Like that is. Pinocchio is fucked from stem to stern because you're starting with a concept of I'm a lonely man who cannot get along in society, so I need to make a wooden boy. Fucked from the get-go. Snow White, she's just minding her own business, and that witch wants to get her because she's so damn hot.
I wasn't a huge fan of The Little Mermaid, and because I don't like water. I avoid playing any levels in like Mario 64 that have water in them.
Can't even handle simulated water.
No, I don't like it. And when she loses her voice and she's like putting her hands at her throat, I'm like, I'm done.
Well, because she's doing more than losing her voice. She's also gaining her lungs and legs.
Yeah, she could drown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the rub.
Totally.
Like, that's what Ursula, like,
I know.
That
I did not like it.
The perfect thing. Like, that would have been, that I think somebody should go through and like all the turning points where you're like, oh, the character could die. Like go through all the Disney movies, cut it there, act as if they did, and give us like a whole catalog of 20-minute Disney movies where the main character dies at their first complication. I would watch every one of those. I would watch. Oh man, yeah, but like there's so many like they're also escaping me, and the one I just wanted to talk about because it's just now lost in the shuffle. There's a million of them.
I don't know.
And that's when you're a kid, you watch. I think you stick. Correct me if I'm wrong. Talk square, chat, talk word square.
Typing
square. Typing window. When you're a kid, you pretty much stick to like maybe 5 of the big ones. Because like we had all of them, everything, all the big white Disney clamshells. We basically stuck to. Oh, what's play?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Play Subnautica.
Tell Keith no.
Yeah, sorry, Keith. That ain't gonna happen. But you stick to the ones that you loved, and one that I forgot about that I fucking love, and I think that it gets overlooked because it's so short, is the DuckTales movie.
Oh,
it's got fucking Rip Taylor in it.
I never saw.
God, it's been years.
As the genie, like it's so, and that's the thing. You forget about it because it's like 62 minutes, and it's in and out in a flash. It's super lean. DuckTales woo ooh. Yeah. So we got it starts out beautifully. It is the most beautifully animated episode of DuckTales you've ever seen. The movie is great. It's got the right amount of whimsy. It's super short, so there's nothing wasted. It's good guys get genie, bad guys want genie. They do for a little bit. Things get resolved. Also, giant balls of ice cream fall from the sky, and it's whimsical and hilarious and fun. And it's also probably one of my favorite ones because of Rip Taylor. Because at some point, he's a million-year-old genie, and he wants to be a human, but instead of being like a Scrooge McDuck aged human because he's such an old genie, he transmogrifies into a child like Huey, Dewey, and Louie. So he has this small duck with a very old man's voice and thick, bushy duck eyebrows. P.S. Thick, bushy duck eyebrows. Gonna go hang out with some 8-year-olds. Yeah, it's just I've been alive for 10,000 years. I'm gonna go hang out with these 8-year-olds and do some skateboarding. I've been alive 10,000 years. The last people I want to hang out with are 8-year-olds, even if it's the Duckling brothers, because that shit would get old fast. I'm an adult, and I want booze and other things that adults want. But still, DuckTales movie, one of the best.
I've never seen it.
Oh my gosh.
That I remember.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
And you probably never will, because I don't think I've seen it on like DVD. They definitely didn't make Blu-ray. That's in the vault. Yeah. Until we get a petition going. I think Disney's not going to let that out of that vault. And plus, DuckTales is a franchise, not a super popular one, and I don't think they could get away with like selling a 60-minute movie anymore. You'd have to like tack something on, and that's not. I don't want to do that.
Oh, Heffalumps and Woozles. That song scared the shit out of me.
Very confusels.
Very.
Yeah.
That's a crazy one.
Winnie the Pooh. Be on acid to be able to watch it.
If it's almost like, because everybody remembers the original Winnie the Pooh from the 60s, and then in the 90s there was the New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh.
Right.
And that was like watching Burton's Batman and then watching Schumacher's Batman. Like, the original is like very, I mean, for what it is, it's dark. Like Eeyore is constantly depressed. Like terrible things happen and they just accept it and move on. Like they're constantly in harm's way. Piglet is literally so weak and frail that weather itself can destroy him.
Yeah. Tigger's on like crack.
Yeah. And they don't mind
crack and speed.
Yeah. And they don't mind getting dark and don't mind getting weird. And then the New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh are like, oh, there's this wind-up monkey who's like better than all of us, and we hate him, but we actually like him, and psych, he's going to some other kid. So we all learned a lesson about friendship. But that was the thing. Disney lost their edge, which I think worked, because I don't think Winnie the Pooh needed to be like so goth.
No.
When you think Winnie the Pooh, you think when you think Eeyore, you think delightful melancholy, not soul-crushing depression.
Right.
I think Eeyore, you think, oh, Eeyore, let's go on an adventure. And he's like, okay, I'm not in the mood, but whatever. And in the original Winnie the Pooh, it's like, oh, hey, Eeyore, can you pass the salt? He's like, maybe if I don't slit my throat first. It's so dark and angry, that Eeyore.
Chair says DuckTales Treasure of the Lost Lamp is on Disney Plus.
Of course it is.
We have Disney Plus.
I can't get into it right now, but I want a hard copy because what if Disney wants to put it back in the vault? And plus, I'm not spending $7.99 a month to watch one movie because that's all I would watch. What was the movie we were just talking about before?
Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh. Yes. Still, I think I prefer the darkness because when you look at the media you remember as a kid, it's always the fucked up shit you remember.
Yeah.
Everybody remembers seeing Fern Gully.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Everybody remembers seeing, like, you know, whatever the first rated R movie you see, like, that's a big turning point. And I think Disney has one of those in every one of their movies too. There's always some dark turning point, but they yank you back up out of that cold water because Disney knows how to do their shit.
I don't remember my first horror movie that, like, stuck out. I don't.
Was Hocus Pocus was Disney, right?
I think so. My first R-rated movie was Critters.
Oh my God. Oh. So no fear whatsoever. He's walk in, walk out, laughing the whole time. Critters. Oh my God. What a great movie.
Yeah. Well, it's a classic horror story.
Oh yeah. Tale as old as time. Puppets take over a small town.
You're right.
Yeah, space bounty hunters. I mean, you know, I think those same
like horror gremlins is what it was.
Those same archetypes,
gory gremlins.
Those same archetypes showed up in Gilgamesh, the Odyssey. You know, there's always those space bounty hunters. That tale as old as time. If we're going to be talking about first rated R movies, mine was a doozy. Day of the Dead. George Romero, the 70s one where they go into the mall.
Oh.
And imagine no rated R movie experience before this. Movie starts, they're immediately gunning down kids. Dude gets bit, and there's a head explosion in like the first 5 minutes.
Wow.
That was a fucked weekend, my friend.
Yeah, you win.
Wow.
You win.
I was like, oh my God.
One movie that I remember freaking me out was Gothica. And only because I watched the movie at a friend's house or whatever, and then I had to drive home, and I was driving home.
And you're afraid, what's her name?
Was going to be sitting in the middle of the highway.
Not Drew Barrymore.
Halle Berry.
Halle Berry.
And like the highway that I used to take back when I lived in Connecticut had like no lights. So it just freaked me out. And the day it happened to be raining, and I'm like, that's it.
Oh,
like,
shit.
I got to do like 80 on the way home.
I've only had, there's only been one experience in my life where I think the prank worked. Usually when like a prank happens, I see it, I'm like, it's fine. It's a funny prank. But when I was an electrician working nights, it was like 3 a.m, getting off the job, yada, yada, driving home, and like getting in our car, and I'm getting on the freeway, and one of those like roadside things that flashes like road work ahead, like such and such date through whatever thing. It said, look out, zombies ahead. And it was the middle of the night, and there were no cars on the street. And I thought, I took a picture of that thing, and I thought, just in case, my God, I said, what if? I'm going to post this to Facebook, and if this is the first thing, I'm going to yell firsties. But my head was on a swivel the whole ride home. I was like, oh my God, every skeezy looking dude on the street, I was eyeballing. Luckily, no zombies.
I want to meet the guys who put the sign out and probably watched you pass by it.
Right?
I'm sure all they had to do was like open up the back thing and be like, type it on a keyboard, be like, zombies, I'm gonna fuck somebody's day up, and they did. So congratulations.
At least one.
Yeah, at least one. Charlie, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. This has been great.
So much fun. We had a super active typing square, which I'm happy about.
Finally got it right at the end of the show.
He finally gets it.
Lots of fun in this old chat paper window square thing.
On the YouTube.com.
On this word rectangle here on this YouTube. So yeah, everybody, thanks for showing up. Thank you, Charlie, once again. I'm glad everybody is showing up to these and we're having fun. Kind of loosey goosey. Whatever. So if you're watching this in the future and for whatever reason want to get involved or whatever, we've got the podcast